man, it's just gone 7 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. Good morning, you beautiful early risers, and welcome to Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3. I'm Katlach, my boy. Graham Richards is back in the house! He's in the house!
It's like I feel like a magnet, man. The resistance here to not go and give you a big, fat hug, dude.
It's good to see you.
Missed your face, man. Really good to see you. And hopefully you guys at home are feeling the same way about seeing us this morning, because that's how we feel about you. It's going to be the start of a brand new day. But of course, day 2 of level 3.
Yeah.
Did it feel different for you yesterday?
It kind of did.
People out and
seem
about.
to kind of relax a notch.
In queues for
masks abound
queues
still,
for
but
liquor. Come on, man.
Lots of those. But of course, we're queuing up all of the content that we have to give you this morning. We have another jam-packed show with your favorite, of course, recipes that we're going to be making. And that's why they do call us the Feel Good Breakfast Show, because we bring forth the feel good with everything that we do on the show as well.
Completely. We are the day breakers, and we're going to break your day right now. We're going to kickstart your busy day with a bit of a chill for the next 2 hours, and it's going to be absolutely awesome, man.
That actually came from yesterday. The question was asked if we were to play in our own movie, and what would the movie be called? And there was The Morning People, Daybreakers, The Morning Streamers.
I like The Bold and the Beautiful was a nice one, yeah.
The Bold and the Beautiful. No, that's already taken. We can't use that. Anyway, I don't think I'd make a very good Rich Forrester.
Very creative.
Who would you make? Who would you?
Oh, no, I'd be from Days of Our Lives, John Black. It must have to be that. That's what I'd live for, man. But you guys can keep getting creative, keep connecting with us online. In fact, let's find out exactly what that conversation today online is going to be about.
A very good morning to you, team. A good morning to you, South Africa. Today is a very special Tuesday. It's not just any random Tuesday, but it is the Tropica of Island of Treasure Curacao finale. It's a big deal, okay? Make sure to catch it tonight right here on SABC3. Now, Team Cool Red versus Mango Peach go head-to-head, battling it out for that R1 million grand prize. It's a big deal. So you let us know on our social media platforms which team you are rooting for and why. And remember to use that oh so important hashtag Expresso Show. Right now, though, it's time to kickstart the day with those oh so important news headlines with Kat.
Just gone 2 minutes past 7 o'clock. Let's take a look at those news headlines on this Tuesday morning. On the national news front, South Africa could have a drunk driving limit of 0 before the end of the year, with full criminal penalties for anyone caught with any detectable level of alcohol in their systems. Now, the National Road Traffic Amendment Bill was approved by Cabinet for submission to Parliament in March, with a promise that it would take the tough line on driving under the influence. The draft law was now released yesterday, and it effectively seeks to ban anyone who has had a drink from operating a motor vehicle. Now, petrol prices are set to increase dramatically from tomorrow. The Energy Department has said that the retail price of all grades of petrol would increase by R1.18 per litre and diesel by 22 cents. Now, this was due to less demand during the COVID-19 pandemic and the price war involving Saudi Arabia and Russia. However, the price of Brent crude oil has recovered and is now around $37 a barrel. On the international news front this morning, the new coronavirus is losing its potency and has become much less lethal, a senior Italian doctor has said. Alberto Zagrillo, head of the San Raffaele Hospital in Milan, which has borne the brunt of Italy's coronavirus infection, says the swabs that were performed over the last 10 days showed a viral load in quantitative terms that was insignificant compared to the ones carried out a month or 2 ago. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization experts have said there was no evidence to support the doctor's findings. Now, the Zimbabwean government has summoned U.S. Ambassador Brian Nichols to explain remarks by the U.S. National Security Advisor that Zimbabwe was stoking anti-racist protests in the country. Violence has erupted in cities across the United States, sparked by the death in police custody of African-American George Floyd. U.S. National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, in an interview with an American broadcaster, said foreign adversaries were taking advantage of the ongoing protests and mentioned Zimbabwe and China. He added that all foreign adversaries involved would not, quote, get away with it. And now let's start planning for those long yearned for overseas holidays. The coronavirus has created immense damage to almost every sector in the world economy, but few industries have been as severely impacted as tourism. Now, the World Tourism Council estimates that more than 50 million jobs in the industry could be lost. Italy, which has been particularly hard hit by the coronavirus, heavily relies on its lucrative tourism industry. Now, Sicily, the beautiful Mediterranean island, has come up with an ambitious plan. they will pay for tourists to holiday there, provided the visit is in the autumn. Now, here's the deal. The government will pay for half of your airfare and 1/3 of your hotel expenses. Vouchers for the deal will be up for grabs via Sicily's tourism website once Italy's lockdown restrictions have sufficiently eased. Now, it's not clear when the deal will drop or if it will cover for a flight from South Africa. But if you are dreaming of travels to a far-off destination, then keep an eye on their website. And who knows, you might be planning that Euro holiday pretty soon. On that note, let's take a first look at the weather.
We've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Cherie Snyman sent us this beautiful sunrise picture of the early morning sky in Pretoria while she was out on her morning run. Pretoria can expect hazy sunshine today, reaching a maximum temperature of 24 degrees. When asked about life in lockdown, Cherie says she has been keeping herself busy with work and goes for a run every morning, which she really enjoys. We're really happy to hear that you're staying active and healthy, Cherie. Sally Katz wishes us a happy Tuesday with this gorgeous sunrise picture taken in George on the Garden Route. George can expect sunshine through high clouds, reaching a high of 22 degrees. Thank you to both Cherie and Sally for sending in your sunrise pictures. We hope that you have an awesome day. The South African Weather Service has said it will be a fine day across the country, but has cautioned of fire warnings in parts of the Northern Cape. Sizokala ePolokwane with a maximum of 24 and a minimum of 5 degrees. Bombela 10-27. Hazy sunshine with a light northeasterly breeze of 7 kilometers an hour for Pretoria at a low of 8 degrees, reaching a high of 24. Johannesburg 4-23, mostly sunny for Mahikeng at a low of 6 degrees, reaching a high of 27. Klerksdorp 1-25, abundant sunshine for Kimberley at a maximum temperature of 24 and a minimum of 5. And the cooler start to the day, reaching below 0 for Bloemfontein at -1, reaching a maximum temperature of 23. It will be a very warm day in Richards Bay with a maximum temperature of 29 and a minimum of 16. Pietermaritzburg 10-29. Partly cloudy day in Durban 16-27. Sunny with a light northeasterly breeze of 6 kilometers an hour for Mthatha with a low of 6 degrees, reaching a high of 29. Times of clouds and sun for East London 14-29. Cradock 3-26. Port Elizabeth 12-26 are your temperatures for this Tuesday, and sunshine through high clouds for George at a low of 11, reaching a high of 22. Sutherland 5-20 are your temperatures for the day, and cool conditions can be expected for Cape Town at a minimum of 14, reaching a maximum of 19. Worcester 6-25, mostly cloudy with a gentle northerly breeze of 11 kilometers an hour for Uppington at a low of 10 degrees, reaching a high of 28. Now, being on lockdown does not mean we can't get to see this beautiful country we live in, so please do send us a picture or a video of your hometown and we could show it live on the show. And do make sure to include a picture of yourself and why you love your town so much. Now remember, whichever part of the country you're in and whatever the weather may be, make sure to have yourselves a feel-good kind of day.
Pharma Dynamics, effective, affordable healthcare.
Oh, it's certainly not going to be a regular day. You're off to a really feel-good start. Thank you so much for choosing to start with us. But of course, with it being the Youth Month in South Africa, the month of young people, we're finding words of inspiration from those who, espouse the values of education and are standing up for what is right and have stood up for what is right.
When you consider what's going on in the world at the moment, obviously around the death of George Floyd, the world has been incensed, so maybe it's good to focus on people who have stood out as a bastion in this space. We now are turning to the words of an incredible human being, Maya Angelou, a poet, civil rights activist, whose autobiographies, they discussed aspects of her personal life, I think the most famous probably being her first one titled, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. She's been respected as a spokesperson for black people, for black culture and women, and has received several honors throughout her career, including 2 NAACP Image Awards in the Outstanding Literary Work Non-Fiction category. And that was in 2005 and 2009. Reflecting on literature, she had these words to say.
Oh, well, she said, when I look back, I am so impressed again with the life-giving power of literature. If I were a young person today trying to gain a sense of myself in the world, I would do that again by reading, just as I did when I was young.
Oh, I absolutely love that. and well, you can contemplate how you can connect with a piece of literature that inspires you this morning, that maybe grounds you in those words as we delve into a fantastic show. You want to stick around?
Cheers, G-Man.
Cheers, boy.
It's better to give than receive, and there's no better time than the present. Although the COVID-19 pandemic is being felt worldwide, our fellow South Africans need our help right now more than ever.
Woolworths, with the help of the Gift of the Givers Foundation, have launched the Fill a Bag campaign.
They need your help too. From as little as 10 Rand, you can help feed someone 3 meals a day. And every bag donated feeds a family of 5 for 2 weeks. And it includes hygiene products to help curb the spread of the virus.
Let's all band together to help our Rainbow Nation recover 1 meal at a time. So to donate, you can simply scan the code on screen right now or donate via EFT. And you can visit woolworths.co.za/together we will for all the info you need.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Yes, 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 yes. It's a Tuesday morning. It is your special day. That's what that song means when you hear it ring out loud, because it's time for us to wish you, our beautiful and loved loyal viewers, a very happy birthday. Now, let's quickly also talk about somebody else who's celebrating their birthday today. One Andrew Joseph Cohen, also known as Andy Cohen, who turns 52 years old today. Now, Cohen is an American writer, producer, and television talk show host. There he is. Best known as the host and executive producer of Bravo's late night show, Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. Now, in March, Cohen was diagnosed with COVID-19, but he has now successfully recovered and is back at work. So, happy birthday to you, Andy.
Happy birthday to you, Andy Cohen. I actually really enjoy Andy Cohen.
Yeah.
I love Real Housewives of Atlanta, and he hosts the reunions there, so he's super funny.
I think I've
he's
seen him
super
on
witty.
another like love-related show, like almost like the American Date My Family, but like on just like another level. You know what I mean?
I'll look it up just to confirm what you're saying is true. But now down to our real celebrities, which is you guys, our loved and loyal viewers. We have a very we have a video right now to a 3-year-old who's celebrating their birthday from Lauren Rodriguez. Let's check it out.
Happy birthday to me, Abby.
Happy birthday to me!
Can we play that again? I really just enjoyed that too much. That was very cute. Okay, I guess we can't. Thanks, producers. All right. Also, we've got a beautiful birthday message coming through. And this message says, happy birthday to my dear friend, Mamadou Tekani. May your bright smile continue to paint our lives. I love you so much. And this is from Anele Duma.
Happy birthday to you, Mamatu. This one goes to Roash. Happy first birthday, our miracle nephew, Roash Shetty. We wish you many more joyous and blessed birthdays. Love you to the moon and back from Jace and Starlin. Happy birthday to you, cutie patootie.
Then happy 6th birthday to our beautiful daughter, London Hamilton. Your mommy and daddy love you so much. That's a message from the parents there.
Happy first birthday to Mika Flowers. May God bless you and stay as happy and cheerful as you are. You are really a blessing to us. We love you lots. From Buddha Caden, Ma Berenice, Mom Stephanie, and Dad Mason.
Wonderful.
Oh, people, cutie patooties are celebrating their birthdays today.
2nd of June is a good day. It's
Wow.
a good day. A message for Amanda, which reads, I wish my wonderful sister Amanda in Sindani a fantastic birthday. May the Lord grant you many more happy years to come. We love you so much and be kind to one another. Love from Tabi Soul.
Uncle Tevzi. Elise is celebrating her birthday. Happy 50th birthday to Elise Abraham. May God bless you with your heart's desire and keeping your heart pure. You have come a long way to be where you are this day. We are proud to call you our big sister from your family. That was a beautiful message to you, Elise.
Absolutely. So if you'd like to send your loved ones a birthday message, send a short clip singing your favorite song or their favorite song, if you will, and send it to that number 071-640-6551. And of course, you're most welcome to also send us your beautiful birthday message to birthdays@cardova.tv, and then watch us just get emotional and gush over them on live TV.
Every single day. I don't mind.
All right, on that note, let's start getting fit for today.
He is a veteran shot stopper in the Cape Winelands team, now Stellenbosch Football Club, who were promoted to the PSL League last year, making the jump from the National First Division. Goalkeeper Lee Langeveld is a stalwart in the team who regularly steals the show with his unbelievable saves. And now the 33-year-old goalie joins us to chat live about life during lockdown before he takes us through a short lockdown fitness routine. Lee, how are you doing, brother, and how are you surviving the current lockdown, man?
How's it, man? Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. Difficult times, but there's lots of positives to look at.
Definitely, man. Now, obviously, you being a professional football player, you're currently unable to train and play as you usually do, but how are you maintaining your form, especially the field on the form on the field, shot stopping and all the crazy things now that you don't have a field to actually train on?
Well, it hasn't been easy with the lockdown. We were restricted to going out, but with the help of our fitness trainer, we had a couple of heat sessions we do every week, and then now with the new rules at level 3, I can run a bit more in the mornings.
Yeah, I know a lot of athletes and a lot of my athlete friends as well are loving the fact that they now get the opportunity to get the body back into shape and get it primed and ready for the season. But tell me more about the COVID-19 relief hampers that your team, Stellenbosch Football Club, has been giving out in the communities. And how many people are you feeding daily in these areas?
With the help of a couple of people involved, they organize soup, so we run to schools and poorer areas in the Winelands, and we hand out soup and food parcels.
Wow, that's absolutely brilliant. A lot of youngsters are inspired by you athletes, and it's good to see how you are taking it a step further and doing some work beyond the field and actually adding some love to the community. But before we do anything more, I believe you have an epic workout that you're going to share with us this morning. So I'm so keen to take us through the paces of a soccer player like yourself and see if we've got what it takes. So where do we begin with this workout, brother?
So we're going to start with, of course, as a goalkeeper, you need to be strong in the legs, strong core and strong arms. So we're going to start with high knees into jumping jacks, squats, and burpees at the end.
All right, Lee, I'm primed. I'm ready for the first exercise. Take us through it. Where do we begin?
So we're going to start off with high knees first. It's basically for as a goalkeeper, you need to be quick off the ground, so power in the legs. So it works in the quads and the hamstring and calves.
All right.
So when you're ready, we can start.
I'm ready, brother, and I think all the viewers at home are ready as well. Let's begin.
Let's go.
And now, Lee, tell me, while we're doing these high knees, how many or how long do we go for?
So we're going to go for 40 seconds and then 20 rest.
40 seconds on 20 seconds rest. You guys heard it at home. We're doing high knees. This is going to work the hammies, like Lee says, as well as the quads. Keep those knees nice and high. And this is going to get you ready and primed to become one of SA's top shot stoppers when it comes to that PSL. Lee, I'm feeling it, bro. How are you doing over there? Woo!
I'm fighting here. We can stop.
All right. Woo, that was a proper burn. I'm feeling warm and ready, bro. What is next?
Next will be the jumping jacks.
Okay.
So it's works your legs, your calves, and a bit of your core also, and a bit in the arms.
Love it. I'm ready, man. We're doing this, guys. We're hitting the core, we're hitting the legs, and a little bit of the arms. Jumping jacks. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it, bro.
Let's go.
Whew. So you guys at home that are watching myself and Lee at the moment, make sure that you stay off your heels. You want to stay nice and light, get a good range, obviously keeping your core nice and engaged right throughout the movement. And it's going to feel like you've been running around the field for about 20 seconds. Right, Lee, I'm definitely feeling these jumping jacks. It's nailing my shoulders as well as the legs. And I know you got another one straight after this, so brother, whoo, what's the next exercise, man? I'm burning up.
So the next one, we're gonna go to burpees.
Ooh. Right.
And the burpee, it works everything in the whole body, from the calves to the core, the arms, even the back a bit.
Definitely.
When you're ready, we can start.
I am ready. I'm always scared of burpees. It's like the biggest enemy when it comes to bodyweight exercises. So let's show the viewers at home how we do it, man. Let's go, all right, guys? Burpees in 3, 2, 1, let's go. I'll add a little push-up in mine and a little jump. You can see Lee as well. He's getting nice and explosive in his jump, making sure you're using both legs at the same time to incorporate that explosive movement. And you definitely don't have to talk while you're doing this exercise. You want to save your energy because it is a proper killer. Lee, how many of these are we doing? We're going for 45 seconds as well?
We're going 40 seconds, yes.
Oh, man, I am feeling this one. Oh. Guys, it's 40 seconds on for you guys at home. Try this out. It is gonna be a proper burner, let me tell you. And that's gonna earn yourself another 20 seconds. I don't know if you can hear me out there, man, but I am panting and breathing so heavily. And I believe you've got one more exercise just to make this sweeter and even more savorable. So let's get straight into it. Whoa.
Okay, the last one is squat jump, so it's not the easiest, but we have to try, we have to push.
This is not easy, and I'm assuming we're gonna be doing another 40 seconds of this?
Yes, another 40 seconds.
All right, guys at home, I know you're feeling the burn. You can see I'm going through the paces here. We joined with Lee Langeveld and we're doing squat jumps in 3, 2, 1. Let's go, guys. Whew. Again, guys, making sure, especially when you're going down in the squat for this one, you don't want your knees to go over your toes. You're going to feel the burn. You're going to feel like you just finished a marathon. But push through, guys. This is where you create that level up. You're creating that magazine muscle, and we're getting fit and primed to be able to tackle anything that comes our way after the lockdown. Whoa. Lee, my legs are burning, brother. Oh, man, thank you so much for showing us that incredible workout, and we're wishing you nothing but the best. So I'm looking forward to all your shot-stopping magic once lockdown's done, and we can see you guys in the big field. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, bro.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Oh, I am stuffed, guys. You better try this at home. What a burner. You're going to shred fat. You're going to get completely conditioned, and I know you're going to love it. Thanks for joining us.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Hey, welcome to back to it. You were live, large and in charge on this Tuesday morning with your Feel Good Breakfast show. I'm very, very excited to talk about the next thing because last week you might remember that we had the absolute pleasure of being joined by celebrity chef, cookbook author Zola Nene.
Yeah, you spoke to her.
Yeah, on the line. And of course, she started her rise to stardom right here on Expresso. If you remember way back in the day, those are some of the pictures that might remind you of the time gone by. And we chatted to her about one of her latest adventures and achievements, which was featuring in an episode of a food and travel show hosted by the inimitable Gordon Ramsay. The show's called Uncharted. And there they are. And she was so excited, I remember, when she was speaking about it.
Yeah.
And it is a great opportunity for her just to showcase her talents to the world.
I think she also really just set our appetites up for watching that show. She made it sound so exciting and something to look forward to. But she recently experienced yet another career highlight. She and Gordon Ramsay were interviewed on the popular daytime talk show program with Kelly Clarkson about their recent collaboration, and they started off with Zola sharing her insights from this opportunity. It was quite something.
All right, y'all, we have Chef Zola Nene on the line right now. How you doing, Chef Zola? I'm so honored to meet you.
I'm so well. Hi, Kitty. Hi, Gordon.
Hi, darling. Nice to see you.
You too. You too.
Gosh. Well, Chef Zola, Chef Ramsay is known for his fiery personality. What did you expect when you met him? Were you expecting to be yelled at?
Well, I did. I did expect to be yelled at, absolutely. But we all know Gordon as, you know, this fiery chef who is always teaching people something, right? So what I love about Uncharted is the fact that he becomes a student in the show. And it was really cool to see him become that and be so open to learning. And my aim was to obviously teach him as much as possible about Zulu culture and food. And I really loved the way he sort of embraced the culture and was so willing to learn. So it was amazing.
Oh, man. Oh,
That's absolutely...
Our Zola Nene.
I mean, she said her name, Zola
Nene.
That's brilliant stuff. Now, Zola's appearance also involved preparing a braai meal for a Zulu chief. And Gordon's description of our Zola was a true testament to her lively personality. Take a look at this.
She helped elevate what I could do for the chief. And then we were sort of, you know, pretty competitive. She's feisty, let me tell you. And she wouldn't kick my butt. And she was adamant that I could sweat and, you know, panic-ridden if this bloody thing came out of the water chasing me. So she may come across all nice and friendly giggly now, but trust me, when she's got a knife in her hand, I tell you, she's a woman to be very wary of, let me tell you.
Wow. Well, I've never experienced that with Zola, a knife in her hand and a feisty being coming through.
She's always so friendly, so nice, so non-threatening.
Probably with a knife in her hand and still going, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's hilarious.
What's that saying in Setswana? Mosadi kabi? But that's not the same.
No, it refers to a woman in a sharp knife and the blade, but doesn't really have the same context.
Okay. Well, listen, Expresso really is a family. We really are, and we celebrate the achievements of every single person who has made an impact on this show's history. And of course, with all of you people at home, much continued success to you, Zola Nene.
We love you so much. We love you so much. Congratulations.
Goodness gracious. Okay, first of all, a lot of love for Zols here. How cool is that?
How amazing. It's so cool.
Zola, we love you so much. Oh, man, that's awesome. It almost makes me as happy as the smell that greeted me when I walked in here this morning. What is going on in this kitchen?
It's my new cologne.
Is it?
It's Eau de Carré.
Eau de Carré. It works, man. It works. Going to bring people to the kitchen this morning. Smells really, really good in the kitchen this morning. I wish I could just send that through the airwaves. What do you think of a creamy, spicy chicken korma to surprise your family tonight? Well, we're going to give you everything you need to know so you can create it yourself. And what if we tell you that you can prepare this delicious dinner in under 30 minutes? I don't believe it. In fact, we're going to do it in like under 5 minutes.
I can do it absolutely.
Okay, 6 minutes. Chef Clem is going to show us exactly how to get the flavors going and what we can use to elevate our chicken korma into a mouth-watering delight. Chicken korma is great. It's like a creamier of the curries.
Yeah.
How would you typify a korma curry?
Not that spicy, nice and creamy.
and it's a great curry, especially when using a paste. You can get done in like that.
It's an
But there are a couple of tricks to actually getting it right and building flavor on flavor on flavor.
I was going to say, because you don't be fooled here. This isn't an entry-level curry.
Oh, no.
It's just because it's not as spicy or hot and it's creamy, it doesn't mean that you're going to skimp on the flavor. It's got layers of flavor.
Layers of flavor. When I start building on the first layer, start layering. So in here, I've got some oil, and I've just heated it up over a medium heat. And these are curry leaves. So they're really great. People add them like midway when they're busy with curries. But I spoke about how fat carries flavor. So if you can infuse the fat now with flavor, you can have an amazing, amazing flavor in your curry. So you ready?
Okay.
Okay, so curry leaves going in.
Stalks and all, you just
Stalks and all.
Okay,
so
cool.
What's quite nice is you can actually, at the end of the curry, just pull the stalks out and the leaves would have fallen down. You can kind of see there. You can see.
Let garnish if you can.
If you want, you can pull those stalks up, but the leaves will fall off, or you can try and keep it whole, which is what I'm going to try to do right now. So get the heat on, nice and hot. You can hear it, right? As it's popping, as it's popping, those curry flavors are infusing into the oil. Then what I want to do immediately is get some.
Done.
Did I turn the heat off? No, we got it. I'm going to try and blister my tomatoes now and kind of release some of those juices. That's going to happen. That's okay. So here's advice, right? Don't throw it in like I did. Drop it in gently. But yeah, what you want now, you want it to kind of start blistering, and they're going to add flavor on top of that. Then I'm going to go with...
I thought blistering was the term when everything like sprays all over your kitchen. I thought that was intentional. You
should
have told me. Man.
Yes, it was intentional.
So blistering is when the oil splashes up and blisters your... Oh, no, it's not meant to be that.
Be careful in the kitchen, especially when you're working with oil and these ingredients that have a high water content. Okay.
Yeah. Or you're an idiot like me. Just be careful in the kitchen, man.
I'm a trained professional. we know what we're doing. Then I've got some garlic and ginger and green chili, which really nice because it's been chopped for you. Okay. So you don't have to go through all the process.
Completely.
Especially when you're busy with chili, it gets in your fingers, dangerous.
Yeah.
Make sure you wash your hands really well.
And also an appropriate portion sizes as well, which so you're not wasting anything.
It is quite appropriate. There's probably like 10 cloves of garlic in there, and that's appropriate for me.
That's a layer of flavor. That's what I'm saying.
There we go. That's all going in. Then we're going to build on flavors. I mean, I love curry. It's so... once you get the hang of it, it's easy to make, but it's so satisfying. Curries are just, like I said, you walk in, you smell a curry, you're like, yes,
completely.
I'm ready for the day.
There's the sweetness to this. It's comfort food on a different level, and going into winter, I think it's going to help a lot. And of course, this recipe you can find on taste.co.za, along with a ton of culinary inspiration, some fantastic recipes, but this one in particular, I think is going to be a real winter warmer. And it's impressive as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
granted, a lot of the hard work is being done for you. Seasoned to taste, was that salt?
That's just salt. I like whenever you add onions, add a bit of salt to just draw some moisture out of the onions also quickly.
And we know that onions are quite sugary as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, this already smells insane, right? And I haven't even added the curry paste to it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, how amazing is that? Look, as big as I am, and to be honest with you, I'm so easy to kidnap. It doesn't matter. Pull up in a dodgy van, doesn't really matter, but offer me curry. Boom, you got yourself a clem.
I am so,
I'm a sucker for a curry, honestly. But I know you are too, right?
I love it, dude. And I'm on quite a strict kind of phase of diet at the moment, so you don't understand. I'm just sitting here like, oh, man, it's so beautiful.
It's so good.
It actually makes me a bit emotional. Yeah.
It makes you emotional?
It does. It makes me a little emotional, man.
Okay, so I've got some Korma Curry. Curry makes you emotional.
It does, man. Maybe it's you making the curry and just sharing
I dig it. Okay.
Your story about getting kidnapped.
My story about getting kidnapped. Okay, that's how my fiance got me.
Really?
She pulled up in an unmarked vehicle, offered me curry. Boom, we're engaged.
Cheers.
It's amazing. Okay, I'm going to be in trouble. Korma curry paste, that's going in. It's a beautiful paste. It's really got all the intense flavors in it. It's been cooked down already. So instead of spending all the time developing all the flavor, it's done for you. That's going in.
When you get a paste, as opposed to having kind of the raw, kind of dry ingredients, that paste has been cooked down.
Yeah.
It's been distilled. Those flavors have been kind of fused, if you will.
Exactly. So I love Durban, and one of the places that I love visiting every time I go to Durban is Victoria Street.
Okay.
It's all the most amazing spices and pastes here, and literally every single stall that sells spices has their own stall-made curry paste. That's just unique to them, and I love that. So, I mean, you really appreciate the love and effort that goes into it, because it takes time. It takes time to make those curry pastes.
Just see when we can flying in some security officer at the airport. Sir, what's in your bag? It's my curry paste, man.
You joke. I once had a job at like completely just come undone, in my travel bag. And it was everywhere. Mid-flight, I was like, I can smell something's going on in my bag.
Yeah.
But you just keep quiet and you say nothing, and then got home, everything just dyed orange. But hey, that's just a risk you take to get the good stuff. Okay, that's smelling amazing, that's smelling good. What I want to do now is, on Friday we spoke about brining chicken and why it's so amazing. It adds so much flavor and moisture to chicken. What Woolies have done now, they've gone and they've brined their chicken breasts. But knowing Woolies, they went and butter brined it.
Ah.
So there's butter in this chicken.
Another way that you can kidnap Clem is with butter.
Exactly. It's so delicious. It's so good. And you can literally, the fact that it's so tender that it's falling apart in my hand,
look at that.
you literally just need to tear it into chunks into your curry. It's that delicious. Okay, so I'm gonna tear it up. You can totally chop it up, but I just love tearing it, keeping it like super chunky.
Yeah.
That smells so amazing. This is just for you. High protein. Okay.
Love it, man.
Going in with some more chopped tomatoes. Just went British there, no? Right?
In honor of Mr. Ramsey. and that's milk, normal milk, almond milk?
Coconut milk going in there.
Yes.
So coconut milk quite nice because those nutty flavors, those tropical flavors really go well with the korma curry paste. And again, there's fat in the coconut milk. More flavor.
It's going to come, we've got a beautiful jasmine coconut rice vibe going on here.
Which you don't even have to make.
Carbohydrates, give it to me.
Yes, Woolies have made
So
the
beautiful.
coconut jasmine rice for you. You know my trick? When you do heat it up, put a little tablespoon of butter in there and then mix it through the rice.
Of course you would.
Why not? Yes, but that is addictive. That rice, I'm telling you, on its own is so good. Now imagine pairing that with a delicious korma curry.
We've seen some amazing rices. You have treated me to some amazing curries over the last couple of weeks, dude. You really have outdone yourself. So this is our korma curry. You can find the recipe, the full recipe, on taste.co.za. Looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, talking about absolutely amazing.
Yeah?
We've been talking about filling a bag and giving back. I know that's something that's also close to your heart about like
food
food
security is
and
massive.
Exactly. We've made it so easy now with Woolworths, and all you have to do is scan that code. We've been talking about the difference a 10 Rand can make in someone's life. So this is the easiest way to give back, to make a difference. We talk about the daily difference.
Yeah.
Graham, I want you to be the daily difference in someone else's life. Scan the code, make a donation, and save, like, just help. Yeah, absolutely.
And those small increments, they really do start adding up. 100 people do it, then 1,000 people do it. And I would look at it this way: if you kind of restructure what you're buying to save 10 Rand that day, take that 10 Rand and plug it into something like this, and it really will go a long, long way. And it's been made easy for you. I believe that everyone wants to do the right thing. Everyone wants to do something good. They just need a way to do it.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I mean, there is so much good going on in the country. I'm blown away. Every day we are connecting to people, doing amazing things, but it's got to reach the ground level. And this, what Woolies are doing in this partnership, is taking this food and giving it to people who need it, man. They're so desperate. So, go and inspire yourself when you make this korma curry, dude. It smells very, very special. And again, you can find the recipe on taste.co.za. Chef Clem's curry.
Now, while the the rest of the country is safely behind closed doors, South Africa's COVID-19 heroes are at the front line. However, concerns have been raised about doctors, nurses and other healthcare professionals who are risking their lives while treating those infected with the coronavirus. Dr. David Goldshag, who's currently working in the eye of the COVID-19 storm at Tygerberg Hospital, joins us this morning to talk about how the threat is not just physical, but also takes a heavy mental toll. Dr. Goldshag, thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So give us a bit of perspective and tell us what life has been like at the moment as a doctor in the eye of the storm working at Tygerberg Hospital.
Okay, so first I'm going to start off with saying that I think an important part of knowing what's happening is knowing how a hospital functions. We have many different departments in the hospital. You have everything, pediatrics, orthopedics, obstetrics, etc., etc. And usually these entities function separately from each other. But now with COVID, we've seen a lot of working together, especially when it comes to the COVID tent. We have everybody from specialist consultants right down to our students, our final year students who are helping out. And there really is a sense of camaraderie in the hospital, which is excellent. It's really wonderful. So the hospital is a bit of a strange place, a bit of an unfamiliar place for a lot of us at the moment, but we are slowly but surely getting used to how it's working now.
And I mean, as physicians, spending time with your patients and thoroughly examining them is an essential part of the job. So how have you managed to compensate given the regulations to social distance and, you know, everything that we've got to deal with in this new normal, rethinking the way that you practice medicine in the time of COVID-19?
Yeah, so you would imagine that the physical interaction would have changed for us, but actually, because it's such an essential part of our jobs, it's so important to keep doing it. You have to keep touching patients. You have to keep your hands working all the time as a doctor, and also as a nurse, as anybody really working in the hospital. So what has changed and what we have had to rethink really is the PPE, the personal protective equipment that we are using now.
Yeah.
It's become the new normal to have a mask. You've got to wear a mask anywhere you go in the hospital now. Obviously, we used to wear them when it was necessary if you were dealing with a highly infectious patient, such as a TB, or if you were doing any theatres or any procedures that needed to be sterile. But now, in some wards, you're even required to wear a visor all the time. Essentially, it's turned us all into germaphobes. We were obviously washing our hands long before this to prevent cross-contamination between patients.
Yeah.
But now, in every ward, in every single room, we are using the alcohol-based hand sanitizers and the liquid soaps, and we are washing our hands probably definitely between every patient, but maybe every like 10 minutes throughout the day, which is a lot of hand washing.
Yeah, I imagine that must result in an immense strain on your mental capacity to absorb everything and to process all the information that you've got to work with. And so from that point of view, are there facilities of a psychological nature and services of a psychological nature that have been provided to the health fraternity to help cope with the toll on your mental health?
Look, the threat of COVID is a very, very real one, especially when you're working with these patients day in and day out. And the whole hospital is a place where it's obviously a breeding ground for any infection, really. So being exposed to these things is quite scary, especially for medical practitioners and just anybody working in the hospital, really. I've had a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues who have tested positive for COVID. Some of them are at home now, busy recovering. The vast majority of them have recovered and have made full recoveries and are back at work having tested COVID negative. As far as the mental health goes, I think that COVID has created a very interesting shift, putting mental health in the global spotlight now. A lot of us stigmatize mental health, but now hopefully from this some good will come of it, and especially medical people will maybe seek more help and try to find some sort of solace in their own profession.
I think for a lot of people, it might not be very easy to imagine what you guys as the healthcare professionals have to go through because every day when you go to work, you are putting yourself at direct risk of infection. So I guess the question that I want to know is, from a personal point of view, how are you dealing with that? How do you counsel yourself, motivate yourself to keep on going, knowing that you are putting yourself and essentially those closest to you at risk? But I mean, it is what you want to do, what your life's mission is.
Look, if I'm honest with you, Katlego, I've almost resigned myself to the fact that at some point I am going to get COVID. I'm luckily a low-risk person. I'm young, I'm healthy, but that doesn't by any means mean that I will be fine. I have no idea. If I get the disease, I have no idea how my body will respond to it. It's just the same as we don't for anybody, really.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a very scary threat, and we know that COVID does not discriminate. It doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, how much money you have. It can come for anybody. From my side, I've already been tested twice. Luckily, both of those tests have been negative, so I haven't had to miss any work, and I've been carrying on. One of the most important things that we can do at the moment is follow the instructions that we're being given, and we all work together to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, I guess lastly, I mean, with all that you've said, just to kind of re-emphasize why it is so important right now to stay at home and to social distance now more than ever, and even for those who might not be, quote unquote, high risk.
Yeah. So as you say now, those people who are not high risk, and I include myself in that, we are actually some of the most dangerous people in terms of the disease precisely because we might have a mild course of disease or be asymptomatic carriers. At the moment, estimates are putting asymptomatic carriers at about 50% of patients. And that's quite a scary thing because then you might think, okay, cool, if I'm not going to have a very big problem with my body and how I respond to COVID, then why don't I just go out there and live my life? A pandemic is not an individual problem. It's a problem for the population. So you don't know how you respond, and you don't know how the next person will respond. Your behavior affects those around you. And I would really hate to get the disease myself and be completely fine, but pass it on to my neighbor who maybe didn't come out so fine. And that's why it's so important to stay at home, to wash your hands, to social distance if you need to go out, and to wear your masks.
Well, absolutely important message there. Thank you very much, Dr. Goldschlag.
Thanks, guys.
And of course, a big thank you to the thousands of healthcare workers who are on the front line every single day to make sure that communities have the medical care that we need in this time to curb the impact of the COVID-19 outbreak. These workers are holding our communities together right now. So wherever you can, in whatever manner that you can, do tell them thank you.
Thank you so much, Kat. Thank you so much, gentlemen, in fact, and to the doctor especially, doing amazing work, and kind of it's a little bit sobering to see what the reality is like, but just to put yourself on the other side of that coin, knowing that you've got to enter into that space every single day. I've become, just relating to what the doctor said, a bit of a germaphobe.
Yeah, all of us have.
And I can only imagine if you're working in a hospital space, but to all of our healthcare professionals, to our doctors doing that, working in that very exposed space every single day. We love you and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. So if you think you might be immune to banking fraud, that you're just too smart, think again, because it is happening every single day. People are falling victim. And of course, the fraudsters are getting better and better at it. And I think we can take every day an opportunity just to go through some safety measures, just to think about it, to make sure that we don't fall victim, because they will catch you when you least expect it.
Oh, they become so sophisticated, these scammers. They are everywhere. You don't even see them lurking. So yesterday we spoke about scammers sending fake emails, but they're also targeting people via phone, guys. They're sending, they're giving you phone calls. They're targeting people via phone calls. When you receive a phone call from someone pretending to be your bank, it can be very hard. It can be very hard to know if this call is real or fake, but there are a few warning signs.
All right, so let's take you through some of those standout warning signs. So they might phone you pretending to be an official Nedbank employee, okay, or a banking employee, and requesting some of your personal information and banking PINs to stop a fraudulent transaction. So they actually turn it on its head, pretend that they're stopping something that's fraudulent. If this happens, please be alerted and do not share any of your personal information, and certainly not your banking PIN. A bank like Nedbank, any bank in fact, would never ever ask you to share your banking PIN via phone call, or the 3 or 4 digit code printed on the back of your card. Because remember, all they need is your card number and that number, that CCV number at the back to be able to.
Well, then it's over. So now you know that when you make a purchase online and your bank sends you that OTP, that one-time PIN on SMS, or that approve it message to approve the purchase, well, we've all seen that. Well, your bank will never, ever ask you for this PIN. So if you ever get a call from a bank or anyone, for that matter, asking you for that particular PIN, that OTP, do not share it under any circumstances. Secondly, if you receive an OTP PIN or approve it message and you are not making a purchase, then please be alerted that someone has potentially tried to make a fraudulent purchase with your details. Under no circumstances should you approve those kind of purchases.
Yeah, and it happens. Nedbank got in touch with me, actually, someone from the fraud department, to let me know that something was going on. They just wanted to check with me if anything had been happening, and I wasn't using the card at the time. Someone had gotten hold of my details and was trying to make an online purchase. It's does
real.
happen.
It's real.
So if you've ever received a suspicious phone call or a message, trust your instincts. Do not share any personal details, PINs or passwords. Let that be kind of a rule of thumb. And then contact your bank immediately, and you can visit the Nedbank website or the app. Their official contact details are there, and you can lodge your complaint like that. And please stay alert and safe, and always trust that feeling, man. That sixth sense.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Life is stressful as it is, and with all that is going on right now, especially regarding COVID-19, it can only make situations worse. But what effect does stress have on our immune system and overall well-being? Well, we chat to clinical psychologist Dr. D on the impact stress has on our immune system. Thank you so much, Dr. D, and welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Lovely to be back with you.
Absolutely. Let's get right into it. Stress is often a part of life and often referred to as a silent killer. But what are some of the biggest causes of stress?
Look, stress is a part of life, and usually some stress is good. It motivates you, it spurs you on into action. But when the eustress, which is positive stress, becomes distress, which is overwhelming stress, then it starts affecting the immune system of the body very, very badly. It affects us behaviorally, it affects us emotionally, and it definitely affects us physically.
Okay, let's talk about the negative side effects of stress. When we let that stress take over, what kind of impact can this have on our immune system and our overall health?
Well, what happens is that the stress hormone is called cortisol, and when you're under stress, and different dimensions and different things cause exaggerated stress in different people. If you're a mom and you're really worried about your kids' schooling, that might be your biggest stressor. So different stressors can cause different levels of stress in different people. But the way stress is manifested is much the same. There's an elevation of the cortisol stress hormone, and that makes you emotionally irritable, sometimes withdrawn, sometimes feeling very cut off. And if the stress isn't recognized and dealt with and really taken seriously, it can even lead to burnout. The physical symptoms can be headaches, can be, that proverbial knot in your stomach. That's really real. Or lower back pain, or increased heart rate, or sleep or eating disturbances. It's not something that you see always. It's something that creeps up on you, but has a profound effect.
Would you then say some people are just better at handling stress than others, or do we all stress the same?
I think that some people have more developed coping mechanisms. They might have been through a lot of challenges before in their lives. They go back to those kind of times. They access what worked for them before. They're resilient. And what also happens is that often these people who cope better also aren't embarrassed to reach out and ask for help. They really understand the power of support, and they will reach out to their work colleagues or to their families. They don't go it alone. But having said that, even in the best of times with all people, we are going through a kind of collective stress, unprecedented level now.
Absolutely. Maybe you can just even help us with some techniques that we can use to internalize and just help with our stresses.
Research has really shown that we need a minimum of 7 hours sleep a night, and that's to kind of clear the brain. There's a mechanism that happens while you're sleeping, almost like a kind of internal cleaner, internal hoover, that kind of clears up the neurological connections of your brain and prepares you to function better the next day. And a little tip with that is it's a good idea not to have a screen on, whether it's a television screen or your telephone or a computer, at least an hour before you go to bed. And there's scientific reasons for that as well. And then, of course, Jamie, there's good food. I mean, there's no doubt that a certain amount of fruit and vegetables, they say 6 or 7 portions, a portion is the size of a fist. It sounds like quite a lot. But the vitamins and the minerals and the antioxidants are also good for fighting off and for combating stress that accumulates in the body. Practice some of that self-compassion so that the stress just doesn't get denied and build up and overwhelm me in the end. I still need to be able to keep it under control and function. And then again, from an emotional point of view, if there's something that's worrying you, that kind of creeps into your head, you know those moments before you close your eyes and you go to sleep? That relationship that is unresolved, that issue that you know you've got to tackle, but that's hard and you haven't. If you can kind of gear yourself and prepare yourself to kind of clear your mind, build up the courage and say, right, I'm going to deal with it. So often it's taking the chance and dealing with it. And then I think to give yourself some fun in the day, finding something that's good, that's relaxing for you, and giving yourself permission. You know, we don't have to do lockdown in inverted commas, productively all the time. Doing it productively also means taking breaks. And if you feel that 3 p.m. slump, go with the 3 p.m. slump. So I will take a little power nap or a break and rejuvenate myself again. So those are some of the tips that we've got to remember. And exercise, of course. Even if you do 2 to 5 minutes every hour, and 7 minutes in the morning helps a lot. It seems strange, but it's true, well researched. It actually makes a tremendous difference to your stress levels and your way of coping.
Dr. D, clinical psychologist, thank you so much for joining us this morning and answering all our questions with regards to our immune system and combating stress during this stressful time.
That's a great pleasure, and stay well and safe, and take care of you.
With the immune system playing such a vital role, it's important we take the right steps in maintaining a healthy and strong immune system to give it the care it needs this winter. Now, Immuenza assists in maintaining the immune system, whilst Corenza Paracy relieves cold and flu symptoms.
Looking for immune support and relief from cold and flu symptoms? Immuenza and Corenza Paracy, your winter cold and flu companions.
It's just before 8 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. Let's take a look at those news headlines. On the national news front, thousands of University of South Africa students failed to write their online examinations last week after the system crashed. A number of papers were postponed after lecturers failed to upload examinations, and other exams went ahead with students unable to upload their answers. Now, UNISA said this was due to the high online traffic volumes, which had put a strain on its system, but believes it has overcome the glitches. Some 270,000 students will write their exams online in accordance with the current COVID-19 regulations that prohibit in-person or sit-down assessment. Now, long queues yesterday formed outside shops selling alcohol after restrictions on its sale imposed 2 months ago as part of measures to fight COVID-19 were lifted. Social media posts showed people who had braved the early morning chill cheering as buyers emerged with their bottles of liquor. Doctors and police say the ban has contributed to a sharp drop in casualty admissions. And meanwhile, Health Minister Zweli Mkhize yesterday reported 22 more COVID-19 related deaths, all in the Western Cape, taking the country's cumulative death toll to 705, with positive cases at 34,357. On the international news front, violence has erupted in cities across the United States on the 6th night of protests sparked by the death in police custody of African-American George Floyd. Dozens of cities imposed curfews, but many people ignored them, leading to standoffs and clashes. Riot police faced off with protesters in New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, and LA, firing tear gas and pepper bullets to try to disperse crowds. The country is experiencing the most widespread racial turbulence and civil unrest since the backlash to the assassination of Martin Luther King in 1968. In other news, the Democratic Republic of Congo yesterday reported a fresh Ebola outbreak in the country's northwest, just weeks before it hoped to declare the end of another pandemic in the east. The appearance of the deadly disease comes as an added blow as it attempts to also battle the corona pandemic. Now, Health Minister Eteni Longondo said that 4 people have already died. He added that vaccine and medicine will be immediately sent to the area. And now, how global COVID-19 lockdowns have taught us better eating habits. A global corona cooking survey that has just been released proves that what many have thought to be the case is indeed a fact. Lockdowns around the whole world have taught people to eat healthier, cook their own food, and consume more fruit and vegetables. Based on analysis of answers to the survey by 11,000 people in 11 countries, consumers reported fewer purchases of microwave-prepared foods and snacks. The study conducted by the University of Antwerp in Belgium also revealed that as people had spent more time at home, cooking in their kitchens has become a habit. Personal nutrition has improved as the purchase of frozen, fresh and canned vegetables and fruit across all countries rose. Also notable is the fact that people say they are wasting less food, eating more leftovers and planning meals in advance. The good news is that some of these eating habits are likely to outlast the pandemic because in many countries, lockdowns lasted longer than 6 weeks, the 6 weeks it takes to form a new habit. And now turning our gaze into the world of entertainment, music has been a source of comfort and power when it comes to protesting. A profound anthem for the ongoing protests across America in the wake of the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery at the hands of police brutality has come to the fore from an unlikely source, a passionate and talented 12-year-old boy named Keedron Bryant. Now, he wrote and sang what has now become the rallying cry for protests. His simple sentiments have been praised by former US President Barack Obama, who has used the powerful song to describe the frustrations he is feeling. Other celebrities who have commented include LeBron James, David Oyelowo, and Lupita Nyong'o, who said he shouldn't have to sing this song. Listen and feel this message for yourself.
I'm a young black man doing all that I can to stand. Oh, but when I look around and I see what's being done to my kind, every day I'm being hunted as prey. My people don't want no trouble. We've had enough struggle. I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Well, let that message ring throughout your Tuesday. On that note, here's another look at the weather.
What a sad and unfortunate way of ending the news headlines, but thank you so much, Kat, for that. Right now, it's time for us to have the final look at the weather this morning. But first, we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Expresso top fan Josephine Pickstone wishes us a good morning with this breathtaking sunrise picture taken at Fishhook Beach in the Western Cape. Fishhook can expect mostly cloudy conditions today, reaching a high of 18 degrees. Another friend of Expresso's and one of our favorite photographers, Sandra February, who can be seen here masking it up with her daughters, sent us these stunning sunrise pictures from Zonnebloem in the mother city. Cape Town can expect cooler conditions today, followed by a brightening sky, reaching a maximum temperature of 19 degrees. Sandra says she absolutely loves her city and adds that there is so much beauty around, from the sunrise to the mountain and the sea. She would not want to live anywhere else but right here in the mother city. Thank you to both Josephine and Sandra for sending in your sunrise pictures. We hope that you'll have a fantastic Tuesday. The South African Weather Service has said that it will be a fine day across the country, but has cautioned of fire warnings in parts of the Northern Cape rather. Polokwane 524 your temperatures for the day. Plenty of sunshine for Mbombela at a low of 10 degrees, reaching a high of 27. Pretoria, it's a partly cloudy day at a maximum of 24 and a minimum of 8. Hazy sunshine can be expected for Johannesburg at a minimum temperature of 4 degrees, reaching a maximum of 23. Mostly sunny for Mahikeng 627, Klerksdorp 125, Kimberley 524, and the coolest start to the day reaching below 0 for Bloemfontein, a -1, reaching a maximum of 23. Richards Bay 1629, Pietermaritzburg 1029, hazy sunshine for Durban 1627, Mthatha 629, East London your low is 14 and your high is 29. Times of clouds and sun for Craddock at a low of 3 degrees, reaching a maximum of 26. A gentle westerly wind of 17 kilometers an hour for Port Elizabeth at a low of 12 degrees, reaching a high of 26. George 1122, sun through high clouds for Sutherland at a minimum of 5 degrees, reaching a maximum of 20. Cape Town 1419, a light northwesterly breeze of 9 kilometers an hour for Worcester at a minimum of 6, reaching a maximum of 25. Mostly cloudy for Uppington at a minimum of 10, reaching a maximum of 28. Being on lockdown does not mean we can't get to see this beautiful country we live in, so please do send us a picture or a video of your hometown and we could show it live on the show. Make sure to include the hashtag Expresso Show and include a picture of yourself and why you love your town so much. That was the 8 o'clock weather roundup. Whichever part of the country you're in, whatever the weather, make sure to have yourselves a feel-good kind of day.
And I think it should be a feel-good kind of Tuesday, quickly, because it is Tropica Tuesday, and of course, you know where we're at right now. The grand finale is on tonight, 7:30 on SABC3. Now, of course, you can also find your smooth fortune with Tropica. All you need to do is get a Tropica, follow those entry details on the pack, and that puts you in line to win your share of 1 million rand in prizes. And there's data to be won. There's airtime, there's cash, LG G8X smartphones, dishwashers from LG, as well as guest vouchers, watches, and accessories. And also remember to catch that grand finale of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao tomorrow evening, or rather tonight, at 7:30 p.m. only here on SABC3. And you can also win while you're watching your favorite show with your favorite Tropica in hand. All you have to do is take a picture, tweet it using hashtag Tropica, all to stand a chance of winning your share of data and cash prizes. We'll see you tonight at 7:30. Get entering and good luck.
It's my feel-good breakfast. show.
2020 will undoubtedly go down in history as a year when a pandemic turned the world upside down, bringing disruption, despair, and even devastation on a global scale. But it will also be the year that we will remember as a time when we witnessed the incredible power of kindness, support, and solidarity. And one initiative that has encapsulated all of this to the core is the Proud of My Town program. Here to tell us more about it is Nina Wellstead from Nedbank. Nina, good morning. Thank you so much. What is the Proud of My Town initiative all about?
Good morning. The Proud of My Town initiative is one of the practical and tangible ways in which Nedbank is investing in the communities that we serve across South Africa. It's a holistic community transformation initiative that was created by Nedbank in partnership with urban planning social enterprise, Ranyaka Community Transformation. We launched Proud of My Town in 2016. We are now in 12 communities across 8 towns and 6 provinces. That includes Mamelodi East, we're in Boitekong, in Rustenburg, we're in Kanyamazan, in Nelspruit, we're in Magaliesburg in the Gauteng area, as well as many communities in and around Paarl and Stellenbosch in the Western Cape, as well as Mankweng in Polokwane. And we recently launched in Zwede in Port Elizabeth. You may wonder on a practical note what this all means. What we do is we invest in an array of programs. These cover, amongst others, building business, which incorporates support for micro-entrepreneurs and enterprises. We look at programs around community safety, early childhood development, building strong schools, Fix My Space, which is the beautification and repair of open public spaces, as well as a crucial pillar at this time in our country around people care and development. So in every town that we enter, we invest our time working with local stakeholders and community members. We're not there to reinvent the wheel, and we realize that there is so much work already happening in these areas. So we work hand in hand with local stakeholders, our staff, the municipality, and community change agents to find out what the specific needs and challenges and pain points are that exist in those communities, whether it's a town, a township, or a neighborhood. And our implementation team then goes and works with these stakeholders to roll out programs that hopefully try to address some of these needs and pain points and close some of those gaps. It's incredible how in these areas we believe there's so much strength and resourcefulness and resilience that already exists. So it really is a case of working together with those local change agents to continue to be such active citizens.
You know, the thing is, Nina, every single one of those communities that you have mentioned that you work in has such a unique set of situations, and the way that you guys approach it is quite incredible in the way that you're able to impact them with scale, but with impact as well at the same time. But how do you fund and sustain these projects?
So obviously it's important that the change or the impact is long-lasting, it's sustainable, it's positive, and it's collective. And so we obviously know that it can't happen overnight. We have to invest at least 3 years in each of the places where we'd like to do this work. So what we actually do is we create a community fund that is developed for each of these places. And we donate on behalf of our clients at no cost to them a percentage of their monthly product fees. And that enables us to address some of these socioeconomic challenges, whether it's employment or education-based barriers or community concerns.
And this is a long-term commitment on your part. You know, it's not just a once-off, and it's not based on a specific period or a situation. I mean, 2016 to today is quite a bit of time to have been a part of something like this. But, you know, let's talk about COVID-19 now. How has Proud of My Town as a program been able to support these vulnerable communities that have been impacted by COVID-19?
So the COVID-19 pandemic has necessitated that we actually do transfer or reallocate a lot of our existing resources and funding and effort into assisting vulnerable communities, fragile businesses, as well as early childhood development centres. So our interventions together with municipalities, local staff and relief organisations has included the distribution of food parcels across 4 provinces, including
and a partnership with the South African Army Spouses Forum, which has enabled us to do work within 2 of those provinces. We've made donations of over 85,000 Rand towards food banks and homeless shelters to provide necessary supplies. We've sponsored food vouchers for early childhood development principals who are experiencing a huge loss of income at this time. We'll be donating products and personal protection equipment for public sanitization projects. And we also understand there's a vital role that needs to be played by community liaison contacts and volunteers. So we sponsor airtime to enable them to stay connected to their communities. And we've got a team in the Western Cape who are very closely involved and have facilitated the development of a system, a database management system that allows us to manage and distribute at least 2,000 food parcels a week in the Western Cape area. So we also know that South Africa's experienced a huge turmoil when it comes to small businesses. And so we've launched an entrepreneur support program that is enabling 65 micro entrepreneurs in the places where we're doing our work to receive virtual business mentorship, weekly food vouchers, as well as assistance and support when it comes to accessing some of the public and private funding programs. And we hope that through this period of despair and devastation on a global scale, we can at least bring some local support. What we're finding is an incredible amount of connection despite this period of lockdown.
I love the use of technology in all of these interventions. It's quite incredible and just means that you're able to reach so many people at the same time and make sure that a lot of people in your network aren't left out. But how exactly has Nedbank used financial education and banking solutions as tools to further help these communities?
So from an education level, we look at everything from maintaining your financial health, budgeting for financial health, the importance of saving, understanding credit, but also understanding our digital platforms and banking on a digital platform. And beyond that, product offerings that hopefully provide some support during this very difficult time for our clients, including payment holidays, debt restructuring, and assistance with industry-wide efforts around distribution of government grants and relief funds for small businesses.
Well, you know what, Nina, I think this is impressive. You are doing a lot of fantastic work out there because you are seeing these different communities differently. And when you see communities differently, you're able to see small business differently and then be able to see money differently in the way that Nedbank does. So fantastic work you're doing, Nina. Thank you so much for joining us for this chat this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
And that was Nina Wellstead of Nedbank. For more information on the incredible work being done by the Pride of My Town program, you can go and visit www.renyaka.co.za.
Acheng, so I'm chatting to Umalume Musa here. He's owned a small clothing factory for years now, and he's always inspired me with his success. But like a lot of businesses, this lockdown's hit him hard. So he spoke to his banker, and they've put together a tailor-made relief solution for him to help his business and his people get through this. Making your bank your business partner, that's a habit worth keeping.
It's time to make a dessert with a difference that smells amazing. Nicole's back in the kitchen.
Clover Crush, 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush your daily goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
So here's the thing, not all great puddings are baked in an oven. We've got the perfect stovetop treat for you to enjoy on those chilly winter evenings. It's all about comfort food at the moment. Our Crush dumpling pudding. How cool does that sound? Dumpling pudding. It's a recipe packed with a vitamin punch as well, which is great. It's a hint of spices, a little touch of sweetness, just enough to satisfy a sweet tooth craving. And thanks to Crush Carrot and Orange, getting your daily goodness has now become that much easier, and we're going to do it in spades this morning. Nicole, this is really cool. I saw you kind of faffing around here a little earlier, and I thought you were making a savory dish, and then I saw the Clover Crush come out, and then the dumplings and the spices. What are you making? What are you making? I am a big dumpling fan, but I always think of them in a savory context. I've never really thought about a stovetop dessert before, like this?
This is I also thought it was very interesting, but you know, like dumplings can be sweet or savory. We're very used to the ones that we have on top of our curries or on our stews in a pot. Or even just like a steamed dumpling bread, or you get dumpling that's more like the Asian dumpling. So this is very, very cool.
Bread, yeah.
So I've got some butter and apricot jam. You could use orange marmalade as well, or if you even want to do like a little lemon marmalade, you can even add that in there. So just letting that melt, and while that melts, I'm going to add some water to our pot over here. It's going to make a bit of a sizzle over there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add about 2 cups of our Clover Crush orange and carrot. And this is going to be your poaching liquid, basically, that you're going to make your dumpling in. Yeah, a little bit of sugar. And then I've actually you serve it with segments of grapefruit and orange. So I thought instead of throwing away your peels, throw them in your poaching liquid as well.
Completely just intensify that citrus, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, nothing goes to waste. And then we've got our beautiful spices. We've got a whole cinnamon stick and a star anise. It's, of course, optional. No, not everyone's a fan of star anise.
Okay. I think the spiciness will complement those citrus flavors so beautifully.
Exactly. So once our syrup's on the go, this is when you make the dumpling part. So we've got our jam and butter in here, like I said. Then you're going to add half a cup of milk to that.
Okay.
And then you're just going to let that heat through. Then before you add, we've got a bit of bicarb over here, which is going to make it fizz up.
Okay.
I'm going to let that heat through. I'm going to add salt and 1.5 cups of flour.
Okay.
And then some ground cinnamon. You know, put that
Ooh,
all
let that
in.
permeate right the way through.
Yep, so this is all going to see very spicy, warm, wintry flavors going on here. So now you want to add your liquid to your dry ingredients. You'll see it's going to fizz up beautifully. It's like a science experiment.
So I was going to say, you're a mad scientist. That's crazy.
It is like
so
a mad
cool.
scientist. So then you just throw that all in. You want to get every last drop in there. And this is going to be like almost like a thick pancake batter that you're going for.
And not too hot, I'm assuming the mixture.
No, it doesn't matter. You know, it all comes together beautifully. You use a whisk. I tried to use a spoon this morning and it was quite a difficult one, yeah. So use a whisk. Just be careful, don't get any of the hot liquid on you. So if you are making this with the kids, make sure that you're watching
that part of the
when you're handling, exactly. So as you can see, it came together beautifully. And it's as simple as now taking a spoon, which I'm going to do now, making your beautiful dumpling shapes and poaching them in that beautiful crush liquid that I've got it going over here and cooking it until they rise to the surface, and that's it.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So clever.
So we just served it with some beautiful orange slices and grapefruit slices. It's, of course.
And I think it's quite nice because obviously you want it to be sweet, but I think that where the citrus kind of cuts through that sweetness, it balances it out just a little bit.
Exactly.
But you want kind of a syrupiness there because I think the dumpling and the syrup kind of mix will be absolutely spectacular. But I love that the little injection of spice and citrus throughout, just to kind of offset that.
Yeah, well, what you can do, Graham, is that this beautiful syrup mixture here, you cook it down once the dumplings are out, and you can pour it over, so extra sweetness. Yeah.
Do it. I'm going to say do it. You'd be crazy if you didn't. You can find this entire recipe on expressoshow.com. You can find a ton of culinary delights there. In fact, we've got a host of recipes and other lifestyle information, but really, really good sauce. And funny thing is, my mom and I have started, like, one of the ways we've been communicating through lockdown is through, like, food packages and cooking things and baking stuff. And my mom's whipped out, like, 30-year-old recipes that she's gotten from her great aunt. And, you know, it's just been like that. But
those are the best. You should share some.
Completely. But she's been tackling a lot of, and both her and I were super inspired. I still haven't done it with the carrot cake recipe that you made.
Okay. Did you guys try it?
Amazing.
Amazing. So as you can see, it cooks very quickly. You don't want them to overcook, otherwise they will just become
one big dumpling. So literally once they float to the top, you know they're ready to rock.
They're good, and that's it, Graham. That's all it is. Beautiful, beautiful dumplings over here. I actually want you to taste the new ones that I've just made for you over there.
Oh man, that looks spectacular. And then I really like the idea of kind of reducing down those juices that are left over to create a syrup to put on it. And then you garnish with, we've got some beautiful orange and grapefruit slices, and I think that the bitterness and the sourness of the citrus to offset the sweetness of the dumpling. But that is amazing. Well, this is the first time I've ever seen dumplings being made in a dessert and certainly on a stovetop dessert like this. Absolutely amazing. So you can get that recipe, expressoshow.com. Go and treat yourself to a winter warmer today. This is ideal comfort food and really quick and simple to make.
Clover Crush, 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush your daily goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So for the past 12 weeks, we've been following the 6 teams' journey to smooth fame and fortune on tropical island of treasure, Curacao. And tonight, after a nail-biting semi-finale last week, we'll see how Team Cool Red and Team Mango Peach continue to battle it out for that grand prize of this season of tropical island of treasure, Curacao. Now, Assistant Brand Manager Liesl Knutzer joins us live to chat about this year's finale of tropical island of treasure, Curacao, and the season that has just been absolutely incredible. Liesl, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, of course, you were an integral part of the journey as well. You were on the island with us while we were filming Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao. And of course, we've come to the end of the show tonight. It's bittersweet, but we have been building up to this moment. Has there been a personal favorite moment for you throughout the season?
Sure, Dad. From the start to the finish, I think I have a personal favorite moment in every single episode.
Yeah.
But from the whole season, I think one of my favorites is the fact that the contestants had the opportunity to choose the celebrities because they won in the first episode. And one of my other favorite episodes was being in the town challenge. I had the privilege to be with the team there, and it was such an amazing experience. It was so colorful and reminded me of Tropica and the essence of the brand. So really, and then obviously the finale tonight, I think it is such an exciting episode, and I can't wait for the rest of the world to see it.
Absolutely. Now, of course, this season was done differently than previous season in the sense that the introduction of the online auditions, so everyone had a chance to kind of record, re-record, and find the best angles and the best presentations for themselves, but also on the series itself in terms of introducing the lifestyle element of getting to discover the personalities of each of the contestants a bit more in those conversational pieces they'd have, and then also the long life ceremonies that we had. So how do you think that these elements kind of contributed to the success of this season?
Sure, Kat, I think it made the season. My personal favorite was the long life ceremonies. I think, it had me sitting on the edge of my seat every single time. And while I was on the island, I was so stressed and so excited to see what they're going to do next. I think it created some good excitement and some great content for the viewers to keep watching and to keep see what's happening next.
Yeah, the drama that filtered through those long life ceremonies was intense, and I think really added a little bit of extra smoothness to the journey as well. So what can we expect from tonight's finale?
Sure, tonight I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the world to see. I think it's going to be excellent. I think it's going to be, everyone's going to sit on the edge of their seat. And also they'll see a little bit of an inside scoop. I think it's a lot different than the previous finales. And I hope the world loves it the way I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, overall, how do you feel about the show coming to an end? And what would you like to say to all of those viewers who tuned in every Tuesday at 7:30 to watch Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao?
I share the sadness. I'm so sad. I don't know what I'm going to do on Tuesdays now from next week. I think I'll go to YouTube and I'll just rewatch the whole season. But I am excited. I'm very excited that this episode is coming, or this season is coming to an end. I'm excited for the world to see who won. And until next time.
Absolutely. Well, Liesl, thanks very much for joining me this morning and for giving us a bit of an inside scoop, the little bit that you could, all about tonight's episode. Now, remember that you can catch the grand finale of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao this evening at 7:30 right here on SABC3. And also remember that you can win while watching your favorite show with your favorite Tropica in hand. Now, all you got to do is take a picture with yourself and your Tropica and then tweet it using #Tropica. That puts you in line to win your share of data and loads of cash prizes too. Liesl, thank you very much once more and see you on the next island.
Thanks so much.
Next time on Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao, the final 2 teams race to claim the grand prize of 1 million rand.
The massive gap that Team Cool Red had amassed has been broken down. Decision?
We are here and we're coming for it.
Still anyone's game.
I'm starting to panic.
My brain is fried.
How badly do you want this?
Plus, all the contestants look back at the adventure of a lifetime. That's tonight at 7:30 only on SABC3. The stage is yours.
Tonight is a very special Tuesday because it's the finale of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao, everybody.
Baby.
Now on social media, we've asked you guys which team you think is going to take it. Which team are you rooting for and why? Between Cool Red or Team Mango Peach.
Oh, man. It's a heated one. And the moment is going to be so hot, but it's definitely one you want to catch on SABC3 at 7:30. Do you have a favorite team? That's happening tonight, yeah.
You know what?
Are you rooting for someone specific?
Mango Peach are my favorite team, Darren and Uvazi. The teamwork that they have shown on with the different challenges is just admirable, and I love their spirit. I love that they never take it down, lying down.
They're always pushing.
Shout out to them. They're always pushing.
It's been a difficult one to watch because I really do like both teams. I love everyone there, so that's going to be really difficult, and I don't know. But anyway, it's happening tonight on SABC3 7:30. So we've asked you on social media what your thoughts are. Let's take a look at some of those comments that have come through from you on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. What are they saying?
One comes from Claudette. She says, I have a feeling it will be Team Mango Peach. Yes, Claudette, I am with you on that one, girl.
We got another one. This one from Dennis Miller saying Mango Peach for their tenacity all the way. Everyone seems to be in love with the tenacity that this team has displayed on the show. I love that. Denise, Spusiso Nkabinde.
On the other hand, this Spusiso Yena's like red is strong, but I always choose the underdogs, meaning that, Mango Peach are the underdogs because Team Red have been leading throughout. George says, #Team Mango Peach with many exclamation marks. They give new meaning to the words. It ain't over till it's over. They experience tough challenges and always remain positive and determined. They are smooth, all smooth. Many exclamation marks.
It's on. Let's just say it is on. So be sure to catch the grand finale of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao here on SABC3 at 7:30. We've got one more.
Yes, we do.
Let's see what this last one has to say about
Priscilla.
There's two more. There's two more.
This one comes from Shemaine. It really ain't over till it's over. Shemaine says, Team Cool Red, they worked very hard during all their challenges. Good luck to them. And Priscilla also seems to agree. Team Cool Red with the red flag. They are a very strong team and communicate a lot better than the other teams. Go Trevor and Nadia. Woo.
I just had a thought.
It seems to be pretty mixed reviews.
Yeah, I just had a thought. Imagine, and this can happen on a show like this, where they actually both teams win, and they Share the R1,000,000. What do
But
you
I
think?
wouldn't want to share $1,000,000.
Okay, well, let us know what you think. We'll be checking out those comments while we take a bit of a breather. We'll see after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso is live, large and in charge on this Tuesday morning. Now, before we get cooking in the kitchen, we all know that there are people out there that go without food on their tables every single day, especially during this very difficult time. And the time to act is now. And thankfully, Woolies is providing a platform for those that can give. Woolworths is partnering with the Gift of the Givers to distribute food care packs to families in need. And for as little as 10 Rand a day, you can provide one person with 3 meals for a day. And how then, of course, you can assist is by scanning this QR code that is on your screen right now. So go ahead. I'm just going to pause for just a second longer so that you can see it. Pull out your phone, get to the scanner, and you can snap scan it, as easy as that. And of course, you can also donate from your bank as well. And donate today, whatever amount that you can afford or wish to contribute towards filling a bag. And remember to encourage your family to do so, your friends to do so, your neighbors, your colleagues, and chat to groups as well that you might have on WhatsApp about doing every little bit that you can, because it will make a difference. And at the end of the day, I think it will make you feel so, so good to know that you are contributing to the greater good. Fill a bag. I say it again, fill a bag. Now, in the kitchen with Chef Clem this morning, all kinds of deliciousness. Cheaper cuts of meat are often overlooked, but they are ideal for those slow-cooked pots like hearty stews or casseroles or potjies and more. Think about South African favorites like tomato breedi or oxtail stew, and yes, lamb knuckles, beef shin, lamb neck, pork fillets, all budget-friendly meats. Meat cuts that you can use and are also very freely available, or mostly available, all year round. So right now we're about to make a, what is it called? A beef ragu.
So what's a ragu?
A ragu is, what is it? What is it, Chef Clem? I have no idea what a ragu is.
So it's basically when you've cooked something low and slow, and it kind of, the texture of the meat kind of breaks down, and it becomes so soft and delicious, and it intensifies in flavor. A bolognese is a ragu.
A bolognese is a kind of ragu. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I kind of get the philosophy around that.
Yes.
And ragus are great because it allows you to use simple ingredients, but you get the maximum flavor out of it. When you roast something in the oven, for instance, or if you do a dish in the pot, the longer and the slower you cook it, you're reducing the amount of moisture in there. But that brings out the flavor of even a carrot will taste so much different.
It intensifies it.
It intensifies it so much. Like when my mom used to make leg of lamb, she always used to chuck a carrot in there. And then the longer that leg of lamb cooks for like 2 hours. And it's so weird, the carrot comes out and still has its flavor in it. I mean, it's not as texture, but the flavor is so amplified. And that's just the principle of ragu, low and slow to get maximum flavor out of the ingredients you're using.
Okay,
and then you go and use shin, one of my favorite cuts of beef.
Why?
You can imagine a cow, right? It spends most of its time just walking around and grazing all day.
Yes.
So that its legs get the most work.
Okay.
The more you work a muscle,
The tougher
more,
it becomes.
Yeah, and the more flavor it develops. That's why it's so dark, because I mean.
So you're
the
saying
blood
my
flow.
biceps taste better than my...
Cut level, I mean,
alright, I see what you mean.
calling yourself tasty.
Hey,
Are you allowed
no,
to do
just
that?
kidding, just
you just
kidding.
did. But yes, beef shin, absolutely amazing. And it's got this marrow bone that runs through the center. Now, marrow bones are instant ways to add flavor to your dish. And the marrow inside,
yes,
it's fat, mostly fat, carries on the flavor, makes your stew velvety, smooth, and delicious.
Yeah.
So shin is the way to go.
I think you were telling me the other day about the different ways in which people are using marrow.
Yeah.
Whether it may be on a sandwich, whether it may be a bit of toasted bread or something like that. But that looks like a very good piece of meat.
It's a beautiful piece of meat. I mean, you can see the marbling of fat in between the meat, which is great. Fat is flavor when it comes to meat. It's also got a bit of fat on the outside, which is also amazing. But it's got a lot of connective tissue, and it needs time to break down.
Okay.
So it needs about an hour and a half, 2 hours. The longer you can cook this, the better.
The better. Okay.
The better. So let's start off. Let's get the oil in. I'm going to start off by browning the meat first. What that does, it actually caramelizes the meat. It's called the Maillard reaction. We're very scientific.
The Maillard reaction.
Yeah, it basically caramelizes the sugars in there, brings out the meaty flavor.
Yeah.
So we're using beef stock, but if you brown these really well, you don't even need stock. You'll be perfectly fine without it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
the
I'm
pot
saying
it goes. Those are big.
These are big.
Big pieces.
But I also like the fact that these are, and there's 2 in the pack, but this is enough to feed a family of even 6 when you're done cooking it, because the meat falls off the bone.
Oh,
And it
yes.
becomes so delicious and fragrant. So first thing in, like, that's got some canola oil in there. And we're
Listen
gonna,
to it.
yeah, we want it like a nice little simmer. Don't want it to be too loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want it just like that. That's perfect. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna add a bit of salt to it. That's just gonna help it brown. It's gonna bring out the moisture of the meat. It's gonna help it brown nicely.
Okay.
Talk about our other ingredients we're gonna have. Aromatics are a great way, using herbs, for instance, a great way to add flavor to a stock. These are bay leaves, and they're amazing. I was reading something the other day that bay leaf tea is apparently so good for you.
Wow.
If you just make this and then you steep it in a little bit of hot water and it brings that. It's got like, apparently it's like a miracle, like, herb.
Okay.
I'm gonna do more research on this.
Yeah, I think we'll need to do that before I try it, because bay leaves for me represents more like food, kind of stewy, kind of curry kind of things, not drink for your delight.
I mean, I'm gonna experiment. Okay. Bay leaves going in. That's going in with it. That's gonna start browning, and as the meat's browning, it's gonna add flavor to the shin.
Okay.
And then rosemary. This is literally from young Nicole. Picked this out the garden. Rosemary, as you can tell by the stalk, it's quite hardy. And it's a hardy plant. It looks after itself, basically. Yeah. You water it maybe now and then, but otherwise it just takes off. And it was great, like talking about like being sustainable right now. That potted plant in front of you from Woolies as well. As soon as you're done, like picking up what you want, just stick it in the ground. Yeah.
As simple as that. Do it at home. Do it at home.
Do it, absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Then we've got some leeks. You could use onion. What I love about leeks is you don't need to cook it down like you do need to cook down onions. Onions, you do need to cook down.
You can have those a bit crunchier.
Yeah. But I mean, this is going to go for like a little bit longer, but it's got such a more subtle onion flavor. Not that intense onion, it's quite fragrant. So with that's going in, one thing though, always wash your leeks. Make sure there's no sand in between them, just to be safe. You'll spend 2 hours doing a beautiful dish and then you got sand.
Oh, that's...
Whoa,
does not sound good at all.
Doesn't sound good.
Okay.
Carrots going in. So essentially, we minus the celery, but we're looking at the basic marrow part to add flavor to what we're doing. And that's a great way to add flavor. Then we got tomato paste going in. And that's also a great way to... We're talking about umami. You get umami from tomato paste. We're not going to waste. And what that does is basically amplifies the flavors of everything else you have going on in your stew.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's like a satisfying savory taste, and you get that from your tomato paste, but you also get it from...
Are those anchovies?
It's anchovies. Do you like anchovies?
Very salty. Very salty.
How do you feel about them?
I'm not particularly inclined to them, but if they work in the dish and they make the great circle of life work, I'm good.
Yeah. It's kind of like, think of it as a seasoning, like in this dish.
Yeah.
It's going to mellow out. You're not going to taste any fishiness in there, but you're going to get that umami from it.
Okay.
I love anchovies.
Really?
Like anchovies straight up, just like dwa.
Oh, man.
It's so delicious.
Wowzers.
It's quite strong, though. So, yes, I understand. Like, some people can't. But, like, absolutely, it's going to, like, melt and disappear. So what I like doing to give it a head start, you can see the bones and everything in there. Don't be trying to take the bones out. You'll be there for hours.
Oh, Lord, please don't.
No, you just give it a rough chop. And then don't get yourself a chopping board. Don't get yourself a chopping board that has a hole in it.
Because it'll seep through.
It's gonna, I mean, we do things for TV, but Don't get yourself a chopping board with a hole in it.
Everything from now on will smell like anchovies.
Yeah,
Everything you
absolutely,
cook.
absolutely. Okay, give it a bit of a rough chop, and then you add it to your pot.
Good.
And then garlic. I mean, you can add your garlic in the beginning, it's totally fine. I want to kind of go with the sweetness of the garlic, and what you see what. Just lost my garlic to the hole. But I'm going to give it basically a little smash. And I like that because it's going to cook for quite a long time. And the garlic's going to go super, super smooth.
Okay.
And like silky and soft and delicious. So it's going to get that in there.
By the way, if you've just joined us, we are making this beautiful beef ragu with gnocchi, and you can find the recipe on taste.co.za, along with other great inspiration for
All right.
your inner chef, if you will.
Yeah, I
Salt
should
and
have
pepper?
used a bigger pot.
Look, so wow. So there's a lot of ingredients here that are going to be absorbing all of these flavors. Because I mean, you've added anchovies, which are very salty. You've added salt and pepper. I'm just imagining that there's a lot that's going to be absorbing flavor. So you can kind of go overboard with it a little bit.
Yeah. And it's going to cook for quite a long time.
Exactly.
It's going to mellow out, absolutely. And like, what I want to say is we're using beef shin, but you could easily use beef neck, lamb neck. That's delicious. So tender after you cook
Knuckle meat?
Sorry?
Knuckle meat?
Knuckles, absolutely, yeah.
Especially if you're one of the people that just love getting into the bones and just...
I mean, I used to work at a restaurant and we used to get people complaining when we served oxtail with the bone still on.
What restaurant was this?
I will not mention names.
That's terrible.
But I mean, that's horrible. The whole thing about eating like knuckles and oxtail is to be like...
Exactly, you want to be involved with the food.
Yeah,
man.
no,
All
these
right,
people.
Come on.
Okay, tin tomato, and Woolies love you enough to like they put a ring on it.
Yeah.
Because they understand. I mean, it's 2020. We're not going to be...
Brilliant.
They put a ring on it for us because they know what's up.
And you can even gotten the one that comes with the garlic as well. Chopped
Yeah,
garlic.
I mean, you get the Italian one, you get the one with the Italian herbs, you get the garlic one.
Yeah.
You even get the tin tomatoes now that have gone completely crazy with Indian flavors inspired. It's so amazing.
All of
yeah.
it, all of it.
That's
Then-
gone in there. And then our liquid. So like
Which
I
is
said,
stock.
which is stock. But if you brown that meat perfectly,
you don't even need it.
Water,
Yeah.
water. That's
Oh
gonna
my
go in. And you wanna make sure that you just cover all the ingredients. That's cool. So my thing.
Yes?
I bring it up to a gentle simmer and then I put it in the oven. Food that I can like literally put in a pot, put in the oven, forget about. It's my favorite. You know it's gonna come out delicious.
Wow.
It's so good. Then gnocchi. Gnocchi's become my new rice.
Okay.
I mean, and I know it's, it's a treat, but gnocchi is so easy, so delicious to make. It's easy, right? Boiled water, quite a bit of salt, put them in, and about 7 minutes, you'll notice they start rising. As soon as it starts rising, it's done. Okay, then, if you want to be naughty, it's lockdown. It's fine, it's okay. You get a pan and you get butter in there, and you just start browning your butter till it just starts going brown. And then you put your cooked gnocchi in there and you fry it.
Oof,
if you love roast potatoes, fried gnocchi is where it's at.
Serve it up, serve
Serve
it
it
up.
up. So
All
then-
right. So now this is after about 2 hours.
This is about 2 hours, and you're gonna get a beautiful, beautiful thick sauce. I'm gonna try and clear some space so you can see what's up. Beautiful thick sauce, and you
Oh
can see
my
that shin is
goodness.
just, it's about to start falling off. So all I'm gonna do is just...
Oh, who is claiming this one after
Graham.
the show?
It's
is it
Graham.
Graham?
Oh,
my
to be so.
word, that's incredible. All right, while you dish up all of that deliciousness, thank you very much, Chef Clem. Check out taste.co.za for the recipe, and do try this out at home. Voila.
Done.
Wow.
Thank you, thank you. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Through a song called We Stand Together, artists like Ross Learmonth from Prime Circle, Lisa Bala and Kurt Darren are standing in solidarity with those in the front lines, not only now during this coronavirus pandemic, but also throughout the year as they perform their jobs. Now, these artists joined us this morning to tell us more about the song in collaboration with NGO RADA. But before then, let's take a look at this beautiful collaboration. I'm getting goosebumps. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
You have recently released an incredible and lekker song, We Stand Together, which forms part of NGO RADA's campaign to create awareness around COVID-19. I mean, where did this stem from and how was it all put into motion? Maybe I'll start with you first, Kurt.
Well, we hope it's an inspiring song for people out there. We just, it's awesome that, artists with like Loyiso and Ross and the rest of the guys that were there just gave of their time to do this song. We were approached, and I think it's a great cause. And through the 6 years that it's kind of existed, I'm talking about RADA now, we kind of can track the whole time what kind of work they're doing, which is amazing. You don't get that often, and that to us is amazing. So to be part of it, it's great.
For you, Ross, why was it so important for you to be part of such a project? And maybe give us a bit of background. What exactly is RADA and why has it been established?
It's an acronym for rape, alcohol, drugs, and abuse. And it was started 6 years ago by a guy called J.P. Gomberger, who heard over the radio, he heard the statistics, and it just changed his life. So he went home and he sold like his sports cars. He literally is that guy. And he went and sold a lot of the sports cars and all of that stuff. And he went full force into this. So, and he found all of the artists. I think most of the artists have been on, a lot of us have been on board since day one. So that's the amazing thing about him. And it's a very important thing. I mean, South Africa, unfortunately, has some horrible statistics. And that's something that we have to stand together to do something about it.
Now, with this song, RADA has been working to uplift people in need through their care program. In which way does RADA actively support these people and communities, Loyiso?
Well, RADA has some partners, some in the car industry, some in the food industry, and really just for them, it was about just getting together with them to find homes. So there are certain homes that are being looked after, and what they do is that they make sure that the guys have got food, that they've got all the essential needs are really just kind of met at this time. And I love hearing that, because I think a lot of the times we always think that, we want to be heroes around this time, which is great. It would be great if all of us could be heroes, but I think there really is power in partnership. And that's really, the partnership that we're building with RADA. It's really just there to make sure that together we can do more.
I like that you're mentioning partnership. Why was it so important for each one of you to partner with an NGO like RADA?
I must say the awesome thing about partnering with RADA, a song like this that we recorded quite a while ago, it's been used in different circumstances to help people to stand together. Like right now, needed against COVID-19, it's great now to see that they've adapted it to work towards supporting people on the front line. So that's the cool thing about this song and the artists involved, is that they can also acclimatize to where the song is needed and where our support is needed. And that's the great thing about RADA.
What about for you, Ross? What does it mean for you to be a part of something as amazing as this?
I think a lot of times you can feel quite powerless. And I think an NGO like this is very, very good at actually just getting out there and getting its hands dirty, which is amazing. And it shows you that just a little thing you can actually do, like by getting involved and spreading a message, it gains momentum. So I think in that sense, it's just, you just see how this thing just grows and becomes a stronger entity in itself. So it's amazing to be a part of that.
For me, it's because I just really just see it as an opportunity to have a need met. Right now, when, musicians around the world, not even just South Africa, but throughout Africa, around the world, we cannot get on stages. We can get on stages if we're at home and we're streaming, but it's not like we can do live performances. So I believe that, music is about meeting a need, and we seeing a need. And so we're finding those people that we can partner with in in order for us to fulfill that need. So that's the reason that I partnered with Rada, and obviously with all these amazing musicians, who some of them are right here on this, on this platform with me.
The song really is such a powerful song that literally gives you the chills. But what are the lyrics about, and what message does it relay? Maybe this goes to you, Kurt.
Yeah, I just want to just say, I mean, it's all a positive message and it's about standing together, but I want to just say it's so funny, me seeing my fellow artists in the same boat as me. I can see what Lee used to, every time we press the button, you see Jennifer Barlow, so he's using his wife's phone to do the Zoom. Obviously, playing games on the phone the whole time and watching YouTube kids. So we're all in the same boat, and this kind of song is about let's all stand together and let's all support each other, and I want to wish my fellow artists, my friends here, and everyone that everyone out there, just the best of during this time. It's a very weird time for us as well, because I think my last show was February. I think in my 5 years of stage, I don't think I've ever had such a big gap in my life of not doing shows. And if our time can be used for this good, no problem.
I love that, And what we also love is the music video, which shows farm workers, shop assistants, nurses, paramedics, law enforcement. What was the concept behind this, Ross?
I think it just shows that the value is a lot higher on those people. I think in normal life, these guys, it's always the people behind the scenes, and they're saving your lives. And, the rock stars are seen as these people who are like, they make the big bucks in the movie stars and everything. But I think the real heroes are those people on the front lines, people feeding us, people saving us, and they need the support as well. So it's just sort of highlighting what rock stars they are, you know what I mean? Like, they are Batman and Spider-Man kind of thing. They're amazing. Yeah.
Well, listen, you guys are rock stars, Layisa, Kurt, and Ross. Thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All good. Lots of love out there.
The song was originally part of Rada's second music compilation, Rada Inspire Volume 1, released in 2018 to encourage the citizens of South Africa to inspire themselves and others through various initiatives.
With it being Youth Month in South Africa, we're finding words of inspiration from those who espouse the values of education and standing up for what is right.
And boy, didn't she live her life like this. We're now turning to the words of Amelia Boynton Robinson, who was an American activist and certainly a leader of the American civil rights movement in the infamous Selma, Alabama. She rose to prominence through the worst of conditions in an event now known as Bloody Sunday, where she was beaten literally unconscious by police after organizing a march protesting segregation, and then of course a photograph of her went around the world, and she was lying on, I think, the Edmund Peters Bridge, and that went literally viral by today's terms. While she continued to fight the good fight, now being awarded the Martin Luther King Jr. Freedom Medal in 1990, and lived to the ripe age of 104, passing away in 2015. She lived the most incredible life, and she had this to say.
You can never know where you are going unless you know where you have been. Very short, very simple, very precise. We need to, acknowledge our past in order for us to make more informed and better decisions for the betterment of our people in the future.
Amelia Boynton Robinson, what a life, man, and what a mark she has made. Beautiful to draw inspiration from. Love that.
Yeah, absolutely, as we do also celebrate those artists that we spoke to earlier on who put together the song We Stand Together, encouraging us to do exactly that during this time. Take a look.
I'll be your rock till the end. I will not move.
See you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Expresso Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.